When we think of NBA legends, we remember their championships, MVPs, and highlight reels. But behind every Hall of Famer lies a story not of glory, but of struggle, doubt, and redemption. These are the forgotten journeys, the seasons no one talks about, the trades that broke hearts, the injuries that almost ended greatness. Before they became icons, they were underdogs, benched players, or misunderstood stars. Today, we look beyond the banners and trophies to rediscover the human side of basketball's immortals. Welcome to the forgotten journeys of NBA Hall of Famers. 1. Dennis Rodman, the rebounder nobody wanted. Before he became a 5-time NBA champion and Hall of Famer, Dennis Rodman's career nearly ended before it began. Cut from his high school team and working as a janitor, Rodman's basketball dream seemed over until a late growth spurt and relentless drive changed everything. He made it to college at age 20 and was drafted by the Detroit Pistons in 1986. Known for his defense and rebounding, Rodman helped form the bad boy's identity, a fearless enforcer who turned hustle into art. But fame came with chaos. His personal life, controversies, and mental struggles often overshadowed his brilliance. Traded multiple times and written off by teams, Rodman reinvented himself with the Chicago Bulls, becoming the league's best rebounder and one of its most unpredictable personalities. Behind the wild hair and tattoos was a man who fought for belonging and found immortality through effort. 2. Tracy McGrady, the superstar who never got his ring. Tracy McGrady's journey is a bittersweet symphony of talent and what-ifs. Drafted straight out of high school in 1997, T-Mac possessed effortless scoring ability, smooth, elegant, unstoppable. In Orlando, he became a scoring champion and MVP candidate, capable of dropping 40 on anyone. Yet despite his brilliance, playoff success never came. Injuries, weak supporting casts, and heartbreaking series losses became the story of his prime. Still, fans will never forget moments like his legendary 13 points in 33 seconds comeback. McGrady's body gave out before his heart did, and he retired without a championship. But in 2017, when he entered the Hall of Fame, the world finally recognized his greatness. T-Mac's story reminds us you don't need a ring to leave a legacy. 3. Grant Hill, the superstar who could have been. Grant Hill was supposed to be the next Jordan, a smooth scorer, unselfish leader, and complete player. Drafted in 1994 by the Detroit Pistons, Hill became a star, instantly Rookie of the Year, All-Star, and one of the most popular players of the 90s. But then came the injuries. A devastating ankle injury robbed him of his prime. For years, he fought to return multiple surgeries, endless rehabs, and doubts about whether he'd ever play again. Instead of giving up, Hill reinvented himself as a role player with the Phoenix Suns, showing resilience and professionalism. Though his career didn't follow the path destiny promised, his comeback earned universal respect. Grant Hill's forgotten journey wasn't about numbers. It was about perseverance, dignity, and the love of the game. 4. Allen Iverson, the rebel who changed the game. Allen Iverson wasn't just a player, he was a revolution. Standing only 6 feet tall, he faced doubt from the start. But what he lacked in size, he made up for with heart, speed, and toughness. Before the NBA, Iverson spent time in jail due to a controversial incident in high school, a moment that nearly ended his basketball career forever. But he fought his way back, starring at Georgetown and becoming the number 1 overall pick in 1996. With the Philadelphia 76ers, Iverson became the face of a new era, fearless, flashy, unapologetic. He won the 2001 MVP and carried the Sixers to the NBA Finals almost single-handedly. Yet, behind the swagger was pain, constant criticism, team clashes, and financial struggles after retirement. Still, his influence remains unmatched. AI made it okay to be different, to bring street culture, tattoos, and authenticity into the NBA spotlight. His journey wasn't perfect, but it was real. 5. Yao Ming, the giant who bridged 2 worlds. When Yao Ming entered the NBA in 2002, the world watched. At 7 feet 6 inches, he wasn't just another big man, he was the face of China and a bridge between 2 basketball worlds. The pressure on him was immense. Millions back home expected him to succeed, and critics doubted whether an international player could dominate in America. But Yao quickly silenced them. His skill, footwork, and shooting touch made him one of the most graceful centers in the league. In Houston, he formed a dynamic duo with Tracy McGrady, giving the Rockets global fame. But injuries, especially to his feet, constantly broke him down. Despite endless surgeries and pain, Yao kept returning until his body finally gave up in 2011. He retired young, but his impact was massive. Yao Ming didn't just play basketball, he changed it forever, paving the way for global NBA fans and players. 6. Chris Webber, the star who couldn't escape his past. Chris Webber's journey is a mix of brilliance and heartbreak. From the Fab Five at Michigan to the NBA, Webber was a generational talent, skilled, powerful, and ahead of his time. But his career began with controversy. The infamous timeout call in the 1993 NCAA championship, when Michigan had no timeouts left. That mistake haunted him for years. Drafted first overall in 1993, Webber's NBA career started strong. But constant trades and clashes with coaches slowed his momentum. When he found his place with the Sacramento Kings, everything clicked. In the early 2000s, the Kings played beautiful, unselfish basketball, and Webber was their heart. Yet, a knee injury and a heartbreaking playoff loss to the Lakers in 2002 stopped their rise. He never won a championship, but his style inspired a generation of versatile big men. In 2021, he finally entered the Hall of Fame redemption for a player whose journey was about resilience more than rings. 7. Vince Carter, the dunker who refused to fade. Vince Carter was more than just a dunker. He was an artist in midair. Drafted in 1998, Carter's early years in Toronto were electric. His high-flying jams made him a global superstar and gave birth to Vinsanity. But fame came with pressure. After years without playoff success, Toronto fans turned on him when he requested a trade. Carter's reputation took a hit. Many called him selfish and lazy. Yet instead of disappearing, he reinvented himself. In New Jersey, Dallas, Memphis, and Atlanta, Carter became the ultimate veteran mentor, shooter, leader. He adapted his game, extending his career for an unbelievable 22 seasons, the longest in NBA history at the time. By the end, he wasn't just the best dunker ever, he was a symbol of evolution and endurance. Vince Carter's forgotten journey proves that greatness isn't about staying on top, it's about never quitting when you fall. 8. Paul Pierce, the truth behind the pain. They called him the Truth, and Paul Pierce earned that name through pure willpower. Drafted by the Boston Celtics in 1998, Pierce was loyal, tough, and clutch. But his story could have ended long before he became a champion. In 2000, he was stabbed 11 times in a nightclub incident and somehow played all 82 games that season. That moment defined him. Pain couldn't stop his passion. Through years of losing seasons, Pierce stayed with Boston, waiting for help to arrive. When Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen joined in 2007, everything changed. The Celtics won the 2008 NBA championship, and Pierce was named Finals MVP. He became a symbol of patience, loyalty, and resilience. Behind the trash talk and swagger was a survivor, a man who literally fought for his life and never backed down from any challenge. 9. Ray Allen, the silent assassin. Ray Allen's game was quiet but deadly. Drafted in 1996, he was known for his smooth jumper, perfect form, and discipline. In Milwaukee and Seattle, he was an all-star, but his teams rarely won. Then came Boston, where his partnership with Pierce and Garnett created the legendary Big Three. He sacrificed stats for success and won his first NBA title in 2008. But his most unforgettable moment came in 2013 when he saved the Miami Heat's season with a shot, a game-tying three in the finals that led to LeBron's second ring. After that, many Celtics fans turned on him for joining their rival, Miami. But Ray didn't care about hate, he cared about legacy. When he retired, he was the NBA's all-time leader in three-pointers until Curry broke it. Ray Allen's forgotten journey is about precision, patience, and proving that silence can still be powerful. 10. Dwight Howard, the superstar who lost his kingdom. Dwight Howard once ruled the NBA as the league's most dominant center. Drafted first overall in 2004 by the Orlando Magic, he quickly became a force blocking shots, dunking with power, and smiling like a superhero. By 2009, he led Orlando to the NBA Finals, beating LeBron's Cavaliers along the way. He was loved, respected, and fun to watch, the next great big man. But then came the drama, conflicts with coaches, locker room tension, and constant team changes. His image flipped from hero to villain overnight. Injuries and ego issues made many think his career was over. Yet, years later, Howard came back stronger, accepting a smaller role with the Los Angeles Lakers in 2020. He won his long-awaited championship and silenced his critics. Dwight's forgotten journey proves that redemption often comes when you let go of pride and embrace humility. 11. Chris Bosh, the champion, cut short. Chris Bosh was never the loudest star, but he was always essential. Drafted by the Toronto Raptors in 2003, he became their cornerstone, a skilled, intelligent, and reliable big man. But his real fame came when he joined LeBron James and Dwyane Wade in Miami to form the Big Three. Many mocked him for taking fewer shots, but his sacrifice made championships possible. He hit clutch shots, defended multiple positions, and helped Miami win 2 titles. Then, at the height of his career, tragedy struck. Blood clots threatened his life. Doctors told him to stop playing, ending his career far too early. For years, he fought for a comeback that never came. Still, Bosch's grace and positivity turned heartbreak into hope. His story is a reminder that greatness isn't measured by longevity, it's measured by impact. 12. Carmelo Anthony, the scorer searching for respect. Few players could score like Carmelo Anthony. From his days at Syracuse, where he won an NCAA title as a freshman, everyone knew Melo was special. Drafted in 2003, the same class as LeBron, Wade, and Bosch, he was expected to shine just as bright. And he did. In Denver and New York, he became a scoring machine, dropping 50 with style and footwork that was pure art. But critics said he was selfish, too focused on offense, not enough on winning. As the game evolved toward teamwork and spacing, Melo struggled to fit in. At one point, no team even wanted him, but he didn't quit. He came back as a veteran role player for Portland and the Lakers, earning back fans' respect. Melo's forgotten journey is about pride, reinvention, and proving that every legend deserves a second act. 13. Dwyane Wade, the underdog who became Flash. Before he was a three-time champion and one of Miami's greatest heroes, Dwyane Wade was an underdog. Born in Chicago's rough South Side, Wade faced poverty, violence, and family struggles long before fame. At Marquette University, he led his team to the Final Four, showing flashes of greatness. Drafted in 2003, he joined a rebuilding Miami Heat and instantly changed the franchise. In 2006, Wade delivered one of the greatest finals performances ever, carrying Miami to its first championship. But his journey wasn't all glory. After injuries and team struggles, many thought his prime was over. Then came the LeBron-Bosch super team era, where Wade put ego aside to share the spotlight, proving his leadership through sacrifice. Even after leaving Miami, he returned to finish his story where it began. D-Wade's forgotten journey is one of heart, humility, and legacy, built not just on wins but on loyalty and love for the game. 14. Kevin Garnett, the intensity that never faded. Kevin Garnett didn't just play basketball, he attacked it. Straight out of high school in 1995, KG entered the NBA when few dared to skip college. He transformed the Minnesota Timberwolves from a nobody team into playoff contenders through sheer intensity and passion. But for years, he carried them alone, MVP-level performances wasted on weak rosters. His loyalty kept him in Minnesota too long, and many thought he'd never win. That changed in 2007, when he joined Boston alongside Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. In 2008, his fire powered the Celtics to a championship, finally giving him the validation he deserved. Even late in his career, Garnett's voice, energy, and leadership defined every locker room. KG's forgotten journey is about loyalty, pain, and the proof that passion never fades even after the spotlight moves on. 15. Dirk Nowitzki, the silent legend from Germany. Dirk Nowitzki changed basketball forever quietly. When he arrived from Germany in 1998, few believed a 7-footer could shoot like a guard. The Dallas Mavericks took a chance on him, and Dirk repaid them with 2 decades of loyalty and excellence. Early on, he was labeled soft, unable to win the big one. The 2006 finals loss to Dwyane Wade and Miami crushed him, and critics said he'd never recover. But Dirk never complained. He worked. Year after year, he refined his craft, mastering his one-legged fadeaway and redefining the modern big man. In 2011, he finally earned redemption, leading Dallas to an improbable championship, defeating LeBron's Heat in stunning fashion. He didn't form super teams, didn't chase fame, he stayed loyal to Dallas. Dirk's forgotten journey is about patience, humility, and showing the world that greatness doesn't need noise, just heart. 16. Tim Duncan, the superstar who never needed spotlight. Tim Duncan wasn't flashy, loud, or controversial, yet he became one of the greatest winners in NBA history. Born in the Virgin Islands, Duncan's dream was to be a swimmer until a hurricane destroyed the local pool. That twist led him to basketball, a change that changed the league forever. Drafted by the San Antonio Spurs in 1997, he instantly formed a legendary partnership with coach Greg Popovich. Nicknamed the Big Fundamental, Duncan's game was pure efficiency, bank shots, defense, leadership without ego. He never sought fame, he just wanted to win. With 5 championships, 2 MVPs, and 3 finals MVPs, his resume speaks louder than his words ever did. But what's often forgotten is his humility, taking pay cuts, mentoring young players, and always putting team above self. Tim Duncan's journey proves that greatness doesn't always shout, sometimes it whispers. 17. Steve Nash, the genius who redefined offense. Steve Nash wasn't supposed to be here. Born in South Africa, raised in Canada, and overlooked by major colleges, he was doubted from day one. Drafted in 1996, he spent his early years struggling for minutes in Phoenix and Dallas. But then came the transformation. When he returned to the Phoenix Suns in 2004, he became the engine of one of the most explosive offenses in NBA history. With his creativity, vision, and basketball IQ, Nash turned the pick and roll into an art form. He won back-to-back MVPs in 2005 and 2006, rare for a player who never reached the finals. But behind his dazzling passes were painful injuries and playoff heartbreaks. He never got his championship, but his influence is everywhere from Curry's style to today's spacing-driven game. Steve Nash's forgotten journey is about redefining success, proving that you can change the game without ever holding the trophy. 18. Gary Payton, the glove who never let go. Gary Payton was built different, loud, relentless, and fearless. Nicknamed the glove for his suffocating defense, Payton talked trash like few others and backed every word up. Drafted in 1990 by the Seattle Supersonics, he became the soul of that franchise, leading them to the 1996 NBA Finals against Michael Jordan. Though they lost, Payton's defense earned universal respect. He was the only player ever to win Defensive Player of the Year as a guard during that era. But after Seattle broke apart, Payton bounced from team to team, chasing a ring that seemed out of reach. Then, in 2006, fittingly late in his career, he finally won it with the Miami Heat. It wasn't his prime, but it was his moment. Gary Payton's forgotten journey is a story of perseverance of a warrior who refused to let time, age, or failure silence him. 19. Shaquille O'Neal, the giant who needed to grow. Shaquille O'Neal was larger than life in size, talent, and personality. Drafted first overall in 1992, he entered the NBA as a 7-foot 1-inch wrecking ball, shattering backboards and dominating defenders. In Orlando, he was unstoppable, but youth and ego often got in his way. After losing the 1995 finals and clashing with teammates, Shaq left for Los Angeles, where his real journey began. Under Phil Jackson's guidance and with Kobe Bryant beside him, he learned discipline, turning raw power into legacy. The result? 3 straight championships, one of the most dominant runs in NBA history. Yet pride and conflict broke the dynasty. Shaq moved from team to team, Miami, Phoenix, Cleveland, Boston, chasing one last spark. In 2006, he got his 4th ring with Dwyane Wade, finally embracing teamwork over ego. Shaq's forgotten journey isn't just about power, it's about growth, both as a player and as a man. 20. Patrick Ewing, the warrior who deserved more. Patrick Ewing's name is synonymous with effort, pride, and heartbreak. Born in Jamaica and raised in New York, he became a Georgetown legend before joining the Knicks as the overall pick in 1985. For over a decade, Ewing carried New York battling giants like Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Shaq. He was the heart of a tough, gritty team that defined 1990s basketball. But despite countless playoff battles, Ewing never captured the ultimate prize. Injuries struck late in his career, and his prime slipped away just as the Knicks finally reached the finals in 1999, when he could only watch from the bench. Ewing's forgotten journey is one of loyalty and frustration, a Hall of Famer who gave everything to his city but never got the fairy tale ending. Sometimes legends aren't defined by rings, but by the fight they never stopped giving. 21. David Robinson, the admiral who waited for his moment. David Robinson was the perfect blend of discipline and dominance. A U.S. Navy officer before joining the NBA, the admiral brought integrity, humility, and unmatched athleticism to the San Antonio Spurs. He won MVP, scoring titles, and Olympic gold, yet something was missing: a championship. Despite his brilliance, playoff heartbreaks haunted him throughout the 90s. Then, as his career neared its end, a quiet rookie named Tim Duncan arrived. Together, they formed the foundation of a dynasty, Robinson's leadership guiding the young star. In 1999, he finally won his first title, and in 2003, his second, the perfect farewell. David Robinson's forgotten journey is one of patience and mentorship, proof that even legends sometimes have to wait for their moment in the sun. His greatness wasn't just in stats, it was in the way he lifted others to greatness too. 22. Charles Barkley, the undersized giant who dominated anyway. Charles Barkley stood only 6 feet 4 inches small for a power forward, but he played like a man possessed. Drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers in 1984, he quickly earned the nickname, the Round Mound of Rebound, for his insane energy and strength. Barkley wasn't just a rebounder, he was a scoring machine, a playmaker, and one of the most entertaining personalities the game has ever seen. He led Phoenix to the 1993 NBA Finals, won the MVP that year, and gave Michael Jordan one of his toughest challenges ever. But the championship never came. After stints in Houston with Hakeem and Drexler, his body gave out before his dream could come true. Still, Barkley's forgotten journey is about defying limits, proving that heart and hustle can outshine height and rings. Today, his voice on TV keeps his legacy alive, the ultimate competitor who never stopped being himself. 23. Reggie Miller, the assassin who thrived in chaos. Reggie Miller wasn't the most athletic or the flashiest, but when the game was on the line, he was lethal. Drafted by the Indiana Pacers in 1987, fans initially booed him because they wanted hometown hero Steve Alford. That didn't last long. Miller became the face of the franchise and one of the most feared clutch shooters in history. His duels with the New York Knicks, especially the 8 points in 9 seconds miracle, became legend. He was fearless, fueled by trash talk, and always hungry for the big moment. Despite countless playoff runs, he never broke through to a title, losing in the 2000 finals to Shaq and Kobe's Lakers. Reggie's forgotten journey is one of loyalty and fire, a career spent carrying Indiana and striking fear into every defender. Even without a ring, his impact is eternal, the original three-point assassin. 24. Karl Malone, the mailman who couldn't deliver the ring. Karl Malone was built like a tank, 6 feet 9 inches, 250 pounds of pure muscle, and he worked harder than anyone. Known as the mailman because he always delivered, Malone was the heart of the Utah Jazz, alongside point guard John Stockton. Their pick and roll was basketball perfection, unstoppable for nearly 2 decades. Malone scored more than 36,000 career points, won 2 MVPs, and led Utah to back-to-back finals appearances in the late 90s. But both times, Michael Jordan stood in the way. Despite all the numbers, the rings never came. He made one last attempt with the Lakers in 2004, chasing a title that again slipped away. Karl Malone's forgotten journey is the story of greatness, denied a relentless worker whose legacy is both glory and heartbreak. He never got the ring, but his consistency made him one of the most durable legends the game has ever seen. 25. Allen Iverson, the rebel who changed the game forever. Allen Iverson wasn't just a basketball player, he was a revolution. Standing only 6 feet tall, he entered the NBA in 1996 as an underdog from the streets of Virginia, carrying scars from a troubled youth and time in jail. Drafted overall by the Philadelphia 76ers, many doubted he could survive in a league of giants. Instead, he became a symbol of fearlessness. Iverson's crossover, swagger, and heart turned him into an icon. He played every game like it was a fight for survival. He led Philly to the 2001 NBA Finals, won MVP that season, and gave fans one of the most iconic moments ever, stepping over Tyronn Lue. But behind the glory was pain, injuries, controversies, and clashes with coaches that shortened his prime. Still, Iverson's legacy goes beyond rings or stats. He brought hip-hop culture to the NBA, inspired an entire generation, and proved that heart can beat size. Allen Iverson's forgotten journey isn't about what he lost, it's about how he changed everything just by being unapologetically himself.